Chat, they dropped a ban list. They dropped a ban list. What? Dude, I was chilling here. I was about to eat my burrito. But nope. Konami just said, yo, hold the sauce. We are dropping a ban list. Chat, without further ado, let's get into it. I'm frame oneing this thing. I'm frame oneing it. Dude, this thing is crazy. Bro, I didn't even like read through the whole thing. All I saw is that there's like a bazillion names. Look, this has like 14 million cards on it, man. It doesn't even fit. Banned cards. Moon of the Closed Heaven. I'm gonna be so real. I'm totally okay with this. Totally okay with this. Completely fine. The reason why I'm completely okay with Moon being banned is because Fiendsmith is a good engine. It is not broken.
What do you do? You play
Lemon, think of the 28
That's a big burrito.
I appreciate it. Fiendsmith is fine. It's not broken. It's completely okay. It's very acceptable. Starflare, also thank you for the subs. 23 months, appreciate it. It's a fine engine. However, Moon makes the Fiendsmith engine
no, not the king.
Generic. It makes it generic, which is the part that's not okay. It should be allowed to be played in a deck that plays, you know, light fiends and stuff like that, or that can get you to a light fiend in a good way. However, Moon making it splashable for absolutely everything, we could see this from a mile away. The day they printed Moon as a common, we knew this shit was getting banned at some point, and now here it is. Splash Mage. I'm going to take credit for this one, okay? There's some Konami representative or whatever that watches my stream. I've said it a bazillion times, man.
I was using Moon as
intended. A bazillion times. Thank you, E9Zippy, for the 51 months. I've said it a bazillion times that they had to ban Splash Mage because it's not okay, and I think this is the road they're going to go down. I think any extra deck monster that can instantly revive one of the materials that was used to make it, not okay. These cards are not okay. We have to stop making extra deck cards that say, hey, I take 2 materials, but I bring one immediately right back. So, like, kind of, I'm like a 1 material. I'm kind of like a Link 1, sort of, but I let you climb to a Link 3. Like, that shit's not okay. You can't be doing that shit, okay? Can't be doing that shit. King of the Feral Imps is an interesting one. I don't think I agree with this one. I think I would have preferred it if instead of King of the Feral Imps, they limited Mitsurugi Prayers, which they might still have done. Again, I didn't look in depth. I just like skimmed through this. So I don't actually know if they put Prayers to 1.
Love you, brother.
However, the based one, this motherfucker, Rip Bozo Paradise Smasher, bro. Fuck this card. Dude, fuck this card. You guys have no idea how many times I lost to this shit. I went to locals this week. What happened? I stood across from a vanquished soul opponent. Game 1, I fua him. I draw like 2 or 3 cards, and I'm like, my hand is absolutely able to beat this deck. I can absolutely beat this. Guy has 3 level 5s on board, goes, effect. Fucking, I roll a 7, he rolls a 7, and he's like, yeah, let me make your roll higher, bro. Cooked. And then, game 2, I went first, I win. Game 3, same bullshit. Fua, I draw 2 or 3 cards, and he goes, 3 level 5s on board. I summon Paradise Smasher, and I'm just like, really, dude? Like, we didn't play a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! We didn't play we played a game. Game 2 was a game that was played because there was none of this shit. Fuck this card. I hate Paradise Smasher. All my homies hate Paradise Smasher. Ban this thing. Thank you so much. Get it out of my face, out of my game, never to be seen again. Goodbye, good riddance. I'm so happy this thing is gone. Moving on. Bro, limited. They limited 1 million cards. 1 million cards, man. X Ryziel to 1. To be fair, X Ryziel is so broken. Like, it is such an egregious card. Dormouse to 1 was to be expected because this was the OCG did. I had put out a banlist prediction quite literally, like, hold on, let me see if I can find it. I put out a banlist prediction, and honestly, I didn't expect them to do this much. I said this should just be like a cleanup list. I had put on my banlist prediction, I put Paradise Smasher ban. I had banned the white binder. Me personally, I was okay with a banned white binder, but Dormouse to 1. I mean, Rib Bozo Malice players. This deck is really, really unfair. So I'm glad to see it not be as good as it was. Razen to 1 is freaking insane, bro. This is a crazy limit, man. What are we talking about? Razen to 1. Honestly, I'm going to be so real. I don't even think this is correct. I would have much preferred to see Holy Sue go to 1. Because Holy Sue is the egregious one. It's the one that lets you play on your opponent's first turn when you're going second and stuff like that, and sets up like a billion interactions. I think that card is the more egregious one. I think Razen was just consistency. And honestly, I think it's a little insulting that they're limiting Razen when now, what's her name? The Dr. Madlove is also just a 1-card full combo. So initially, they only had Razen as the 1-card full combo, but now they have Dr. Madlove that effectively does the same thing through the field spell. So, I mean, yes, this is lowering the amount of like 1-card starters from 6 to 4, but I'm going to be so real. I'm going to be so real. I think Holy Sue was the one that probably needed the hit, but I understand why they're not hitting it because it's a newer card. I can understand. Lacrima coming back is actually very cool. Lacrima back to 1 is sick because with the new time rules, we're no longer going to be going into time with the Lacrima and all this stuff where, you know, you're going to have games that go for 45 minutes and then game 3 starts and it's whoever goes first with Fiendsmith combo gets to do Lacrima stuff. And no Moon, this isn't generic anymore. So if you want to get into the Fiendsmith engine, you're specifically going to have to either be playing a deck that plays like Fiends, or you need to like hard open the main deck Lacrima, or hard open like the Engraver or something like that. You know what I mean? You can't just go, oh, I've seen 0 Fiendsmith cards. Okay, Fiendsmith combo anyway. You know what I mean? And the thing that I find really cool about this with the Moon ban is specifically that the Moon ban really disincentivizes people from splashing the Fiendsmith engine. But Lacrima is a very, very strong card. And because of how good Lacrima is as a card, I think that it's interesting that this might still incentivize people to splash the Fiendsmith engine. If they don't draw it, they don't draw it. But if they draw it, they get to do more stuff than they initially were able to do, which I think is very cool. I think incentivizing playing an engine that is genuinely fair. I'll say it. I think that the Fiendsmith engine is fair. I think it is cool. I think it is a dope engine. And I think incentivizing people to play it is a very, very good thing. Link Haribo back to 1. I'm going to be so real. I know what's on the unlimited section on this ban list. I don't agree with Link Haribo to 1 because of that reason, but we'll talk about it when we get there. Summon Sorceress is errata. This card is basically unplayable. Herald of the Arclight is a curious one. Because this hits 2 things. Herald of the Arclight actually hits 3 things. It hits 2 relevant things and 1 kind of irrelevant one. The irrelevant one is that a lot of ritual-based decks played Herald of the Arclight as like a thing you could send from the extra deck with something like a Zaborg or something like that to search a lot of ritual engine. Now, does that really matter? Not really. It doesn't super matter. The 2 things that do matter. 1, this hits Yummy, because in Yummy, they could oftentimes make doubled Herald of the Arclight. Typically, they would make 1 on their own turn and then 1 on your turn. Now, they only have access to 1 Herald of the Arclight, which means that the other synchro that they have to make is more than likely going to be like a Yummy synchro instead of going into a second Herald. I don't know if they have another like synchro 4 that's really worth going into. I can't think of one. Like, what are they going to do? Make Necros of Unicorn? Not Necros of Unicorn. Fabled Unicorn. We have the same number of cards in hand. Negate all your cards type shit, you know? But the other thing that this hits is specifically the Yummy Mitsurugi build. Yummy Mitsurugi was a deck that you could play because you could go Herald of the Arclight on your turn.
You play Floodgates.
And then you could link it off into the Gravity controller and then Herald of the Arclight search Habakiri. And now you can't do that because you're giving up your only copy of Herald of the Arclight. I don't believe they have another means of searching or of recycling the Herald of the Arclight to make it again. So because of that, it makes it so that the Yummy Mitsurugi deck has to pick and choose in between. Do they want to make the Herald for the opponent's turn to have a negate, or do they want to go into the Mitsurugi line? The other thing that they could consider doing is that deck could consider going, like making the Herald negate something on the opponent's turn, and then search Habakiri to guarantee a kill shot on the next turn. because like you'll just have a lot of push with the Mitsurugi cards. But the reality of it is, I don't think Yummy really needs that. Yummy is able to kill out of nowhere anyway. So I don't know that it's very necessary. But I think this is a really good hit. Herald to 1, I think makes a lot of sense. Trident is back, which is randomly very scary because with Ryzeal Detonator at 1, it means that the Ryzeal deck typically would just end on, you know, a Detonator, and then they can typically make another rank 4, but you don't have any really good rank 4s to go into. Now, the thing that I'll say, typically the other rank 4 is a Castel, and as you can see, there is no Feather Storm here. They did not ban the Feather Storm. So with no Feather Storm, the big issue is that they can still go into the Castel if they draw it. However, if they don't see the Feather Storm, they can just go, and I know what you guys are going to say, yo, Dread needs 4 monsters. You know what doesn't need 4 monsters? Chaka 9. So they can just go, slap Chaka 9, slap Dryden on top, and there you go. You have a 3 material Dryden. It's a very, very real thing. Very scary, very powerful. Christian inclusion of 1 is psychotic. Christian didn't need a hit. If anything, you probably want to just hit the K9 cards. I don't know why the fuck they did this. I don't agree with it. But I mean, sure. I understand that this is a good deck. The Christian deck is a good deck. Is the Christian deck a broken deck? No, I don't think so. I don't think it was broken. However, K9 is very recent, very new, so I can understand why they're not hitting the K9 cards. Next up, we have Obedient Schooled, which I predicted. I predicted this one. Look at that. Bing. Limited Obedient Schooled. Now, I know what you guys are saying, bro. Yummy's new. Why are we hitting Yummy, bro? I'm going to be so real. This isn't a hit to Yummy. This is an errata. This right here, this is an errata. That's what that is. And the reason why I say this is an errata is because Obedient Schooled 100% should have said once per turn. Now, it is once per turn. Simple. It is now once per turn. You can safely Ash Obedient Schooled, and you know they will not have another. So in this situation, I'm okay with it. I'm completely okay with it. Totally fine. Stake Your Soul. Your nose is mine. Shoutouts to Milano. Stake Your Soul to 1 is also crazy. That's insane. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it gives Vanquishal a power card and all that stuff. However, in my opinion, I think Stake Your Soul again wasn't on my grocery list of cards that needed to be hit in Vanquishal. Don't get me wrong. I think this Vanquishal deck is kind of dead now. Because the biggest issue with Vanquishal is that Vanquishal was bricky. It's a bricky deck. Like, sometimes it draws broken. Sometimes it draws unplayable. So because sometimes it draws unplayable, the issue with this is that this gives them 4 less good cards that make them playable. I think that the way you play around this now, if you're playing Vanquishal, is you have to play multiple copies of the field spell. Maybe you play one of the, like, Monster Reborn or whatever, but I'm going to be so real, I don't think that fixes the holes that it doesn't patch the holes that they put into this deck. Solemn Judgment to 1? Bro, what is this, freaking 2009? Why is okay, no, I understand why Judgment is at 1. I can understand why it's at 1. The reason why they put Judgment at 1 is basically because the side deck exists. It's because the side deck exists. The side deck existing, allowing you to put 3 Judgment, 3 Warning, or 3 Judgment, 3 Strike, and shit like that in your side deck for when you know you're going first. There's some games, I'm going to be so real with you, there are some games where I'll play against like a Vanquishal player that opened the absolute nuts, the absolute stones. They stop all my plays. They stop every single one of my plays, but I have Warning, Judgment sitting in my hand, and I just go, set, and they go, normal Razen, and I go, all Warning, and then they go, Stake Your Soul, and I go, all Judgment, and he's like, yeah, I'm not playing through that. There's just no way. You just don't play through that.
You play.
So I can understand Judgment
Banlist
going to
time.
1, specifically because the side deck exists. I'm going to be real. I think all of these limits are fairly reasonable, with the exception of, like, I don't think inclusion was necessary, but I understand it. I don't think Stake Your Soul and Razen were the correct ones. I think they should have been like a Holy Sue, probably, but I understand why they didn't do it. I also dislike Link Karibo. That's my personal stance. Dislike Link Karibo coming back. Link ones are not a good thing. Sorry, chat, I'm still sick. Dude, why? Why are we giving the branded Andes more toys to play with? Bro, leave this shit at 1. This is not needed. Why are we doing this? I don't understand. I don't get why we're doing this. This totally should have just stayed at 1. I would have been completely okay with that. I do not like branded, okay? I'll stand behind the chat. I know that a lot of you guys disagree with my take on this. I don't like branded. I think branded is a cringe deck. But that's just a me thing. That's a personal hate that I have against this deck, okay? That's just a me feeling. I can understand, okay, the deck isn't doing anything. They banned most of the stuff that locks you. They should ban the Albion extra deck monster that summons the opponent's board so that we can stop like locking, and then this deck is probably fine. I'm gonna be so real, it's probably okay. And then unlimited, bro, they got so many cards up in here. Look at this thing, man. Glow up bulb to 3. I mean, sure. Wait, was this banned or was it at 1? I feel like they brought this back. I'm pretty sure it was at 1. And now it's a 3. I'm pretty sure this didn't make the jump from banned to 3, did it? It was banned? Wait, really? Is there a way to abuse this? Is there something that you can do with Glow Bulb that's like crazy? Because I'm not going to lie, this card is like kind of good, bro. This card's like really insane. Masterpiece to 3 along with Dragonic Diagram is... I'm going to say something very controversial. I think Masterpiece to 3 and Dragonic Diagram to 3 is actually very good for the game. And the reason why it is very good for the game is that there were a lot of players that really loved True Draco. They loved True Draco and have quit since. I am down for the True Draco Andes to come back to the game. Look, Masterpiece to 3, Diagram to 3, y'all haven't played in like 5 years, you know what I'm saying? 6 years, however, whenever Masterpiece was banned, y'all can come back. Come back. We'll play some Yu-Gi-Oh! We'll play some games. Morphin Shell to 3, who gives a fuck? Phantom Skyblaster to 3, who gives a fuck? This is the one that's really scary. Snake Eye Ash and Snake Eye Poplar to 3. Bro, Snake Eye is playable. They gave back Link Karibo with this shit. Like, Snake Eyes is basically full power with the exception of original Sinful Spoil. So, like, it's good. This deck is good. It's super playable. You can high-key just play Snake Eye. 3 Ash, 3 Poplar. We're going back to a format of, like, you need the hand traps. Like, now you're going to have to play Veilers. You're going to have to play Imperms. It's going to be weird. It's going to be hard to play into. Like, really, really, really hard to play into. I'm going to be so real. This Snake Eye deck is really good. Like, I know a lot of people are saying OSS is huge, and I agree. OSS is really huge for this deck. I am not disagreeing with you there. I think OSS is a very, very big deal for this deck. However, the big issue with this specifically is the fact that despite OSS being a big deal, Ash and Poplar to 3, you got to remember, both of these cards is one body that actually equals like 5 bodies. You can do pretty much anything with this. You know, there's a world where you go back to playing like Snake Eye with the Fire Kings. That's like a real deck. You know what I mean? So I think that this is something to genuinely keep in mind and be wary of. You know? No Moon or Apo. I don't think those were necessarily like, don't get me wrong, they were important pieces for the deck, but do I think that they were the be-all end-all of the deck? No, I think these 2 cards were the be-all end-all of that deck. By a lot. By a lot. Wasn't Oak banned? Oak is not banned. Oak is banned in Master Duel. It's legal in the TCG. Lightning Storm to 3, I mean, it was at 2. I'm of the opinion that any card that's at 2 can either be a 3 or banned. Your pick. No cards need to be a 2. 2 ofs are silly. Zodiac Barrage to 3. Was this at 1 or was it banned? I want to say it went from 1 to 3. This just gave more extenders to like Ryzeal. With X going to 1, I can see a world where Ryzeal Zodiac is just like a real deck. I can genuinely see Ryzeal Zoo being a real deck. And I think it's a deck that would be scary. Genuinely, I think it would be a deck that's very scary. Because you can probably do a lot of insane things. Like, you can extend a lot. This gives them a lot more extenders. And Ryzeal is one of the few decks to still have access to a Light Fiend to go into Fiendsmith combo. So the reality of it is that you can go... you can use the Zodiac engine, or the Mitsu, not the Mitsu engine, or the Ryzel engine, or even still the Mitsu engine, to get to a point where you have 2 4s on board, and you can make Exciton Knight and just go into Requiem. So you can still go Detonator Drident. Imagine going Detonator Drident like Caesar, or Detonator Drident plus the Desiree. Hey, how do you beat that? That's like really, really tough to beat. Interesting list, to be honest. Very interesting ban list. I'm happy with all the bans. The bans all make sense. Most of the limits make sense. I'm a little wary of the Linkery, but I'm gonna be real. I think I'm just worried about Snake Eye. I think I'm willing to be proven wrong and to be proven that like the Snake Eye deck isn't actually going to be doing anything. But I'm genuinely like a little scared of the Snake Eye stuff. I think the Snake Eye stuff is going to be really good. Brandon Fusion going to 2. It's kind of whatever. I should have a personal hate boner for that deck. And I guess Glow Up Bulb is like kind of a sussy card that might do some cool shit. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what it does. But with that being said, I am live right now reacting to the ban list. If you're watching this on YouTube, hi YouTube. Thanks so much for being here. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And let me know in the comments what you guys think of this ban list. And without further ado, that's going to be it for the ban list reaction. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Chat, everyone chat, say hi to YouTube. Hi, YouTube. Bye-bye.